We now got it on the record that New Zealand First does not want New Zealand back into surplus. That was one of his most memorable comments. Another one, a quick question for Mr O'Rourke. Which way did Winston Peters vote on the 1991 budget? Yes or no? Winston Peters, yes or no for the 1991 budget? Deafening in their inability to answer that question. The only thing that was getting worse and worse about that particular contribution was the member's speech. Mr Speaker, let's turn our attention to the Labor Party, because we've had Chris Farfoy leading off, telling us that the Labor Party will oppose this measure not because they care about the policy in it, but because they don't like the process. No engagement with the significant challenges that our rapidly escalating older population put before us. No engagement with any of the budget at all, just saying we don't like the process. And then we had Dr David Clark read to us at length what is in the bill. In fact, he read to us for such a long time, he forgot to tell us what he actually thought about it. And then even when he was asked to state an opinion, he came back to that old chestnut, we don't like the process. And he's still over there wobbling away. He won't actually tell us what he thinks of the bill. Well, I want to tell both Dr Clark and Mr Farfoy that there is not, in fact, Mr O'Rourke for that matter, there is nothing unusual at all about the fact that here we are in urgency the day after a budget considering tax changes. Because actually, Mr Speaker, that's what always happens. That's what governments do. It even happened when the Labor government was in power, but what was the one difference? The difference was then they were always pushing the taxes up, and we're trying to do something a little better than that. Mr Speaker, this bill will create savings of nearly $35 million over a 4-year period that we will then reinvest in critical health care. It will quite sensibly ensure that from the 1st of July this year, the government can begin adjusting the asset threshold for rest home subsidies at the rate of inflation. Well, what's wrong with that? Why wouldn't you want to do that? Mr Speaker, this is responsible governing in very challenging times. It recognises our responsibility to respond to the rapid increase in our older population, not just because New Zealand First is back in the Parliament. It is an appropriate aspect of a budget that I am proud to support, and I encourage all the members opposite to change the habit of a lifetime and to support it because it makes sense.
Order. 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 I'm calling the Honourable Ruth Dyson.